Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with COVID vaccine manufacturers in New Delhi. Major vaccine manufacturers hail leadership of Prime Minister as key factor in India crossing the milestone of administering 100 crore doses. Over 101 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.16%. Prime Minister says infrastructure being developed in Goa to increase income of farmers and fishermen. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. Home Minister Amit Shah urges youth of Jammu and Kashmir to contribute for development of the Union Territory. 12 trekkers from West Bengal killed in landslides in Uttarakhand. Russia reports record 1,075 COVID deaths in the last 24 hours as country gets ready for nationwide workplace shutdown next month. And in T20 World Cup, India to take on Pakistan in Dubai tomorrow. In their first match of the Super 12 stage, Australia beat South Africa by 5 wickets in their opening match at Abu Dhabi. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today exhorted that India needs to institutionalize the best practices learnt during the last 1.5 years, as it is an opportunity to modify practices in tune with the global standards. The Prime Minister said this during his interaction with the domestic vaccine manufacturers at his residence in New Delhi. Mr. Modi said that vaccine manufacturers should continuously work together to be ready to face the future challenges. He said that the entire world is looking up to India in the backdrop of the success of the vaccination drive. During his interaction, Mr. Modi also praised the efforts of the vaccine manufacturers, which has resulted in the country crossing the milestone of 100 crore vaccinations. The Prime Minister said that they have played a big role in the success story of India. He appreciated their hard work and confidence given by them during the pandemic. The major COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers hailed Prime Minister Modi's leadership as a key factor in India being able to administer 100 crore vaccine doses in just about 9 months. The domestic vaccine manufacturers also appreciated the vision and dynamic leadership of the Prime Minister in providing continuous guidance and support towards the development of the vaccines. They also praised the never-before-seen collaboration between the government and industry and applauded the regulatory reforms, simplified procedures, timely approvals and forthcoming and supportive nature of the government throughout this endeavour. The vaccine manufacturers noted that had the country been following the old norms, there would have been a considerable delay and we would not have been able to reach the vaccination level that the country has attained till now. Cyrus Poonawalla and Adar Poonawalla of Serum Institute of India, Dr. Krishna Ella and Ms. Suchitra Ella of the Bharat Biotech, Mr. Pankaj Patel and Dr. Shervil Patel of the Zydus Cadila, Ms. Mahima Datla and Mr. Narendra Mantela of the Biological E Limited and Mr. Satish Reddy and Mr. Deepak Sapra of Dr. Reddy's Lab were among those who attended the interaction. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia was also present during the interaction. Speaking after the meeting, Chairperson and Managing Director of Serum Institute of India, Cyrus Poonawalla, praised the Prime Minister for taking timely decisions and extending every possible help to guide India in becoming self-sufficient in the production of COVID vaccines.
Today, India would not have been able to make 1 billion doses. There is no doubt in my mind about that. When he came in November in Pune, I assured him And today he was very happy that our assurance has been fulfilled, that we will make India self-sufficient like in all other vaccines, in the COVID vaccine at the lowest possible price in the world. So that is the main achievement of the vaccine industry, especially Serum Institute, only because the Prime Minister went out of his way and made all the regulatory people move very fast. They also cooperated, and that's why India is today where it is in covering up such a huge population, which it would otherwise not been able to do.
Bharat Biotech Chairman and Managing Director Dr. Krishna Ella said Prime Minister Modi's leadership and determination helped India in achieving the feat.
We are really proud of the country. 100 crores reaching is not an easy. Prime Minister was determined to make it. All the negativity in the beginning, he converted into an opportunity. And he made it happen. And I think that's the greatest thing a leader can do for any country. Pehle baar, our Honorable Prime Minister vaccine liya. A proof for Indian innovation, Indian startup culture to help. Baad mein, a success story for Atmanirbhar program of this country. And this is a role model for everybody in the country.
Following the meeting, Chairman of Zydus Cadila, Pankaj Patel, said the Prime Minister's leadership was an important factor in the development of the DNA-based COVID vaccine.
हमारे साइंटिस्ट ने और हमारे सब सहकर्मियों ने मिलकर डीएनए वैक्सीन की डेवलपमेंट की। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमें बहुत एनकरेज किया है कि आप करो, भारत सरकार आपके साथ में है, आपको जहां भी असुविधा होगी वहां सपोर्ट करेंगे, और उसी वजह से हम ये वैक्सीन डेवलप कर पाए। उन्होंने यूएन में इस वैक्सीन का जिक्र भी किया। ये भारत के साइंटिस्ट के लिए और पूरी भारतवर्ष की जनता के लिए बहुत गर्व की बात है, और हमें आशा है ये नया जो अध्याय इनोवेशन का भारत में शुरू हुआ है वो बहुत तेजी से बढ़ेगा और भारत दुनिया में ऑल्सो इनोवेटिव कंट्री के तरह उभर आएगी।
World leaders have applauded India as the COVID-19 vaccination drive crossed the 100 crore doses milestone, saying it had brought the world closer to defeating the global pandemic and achieving vaccine equity. More than 101 crore 30 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Health Minister said over 68 lakh 48,000 doses were administered yesterday. In the last 24 hours, more than 16,000 new cases were reported. The recovery rate is currently at 98.16%, the highest since March last year, with over 17,000 people recovering in the last 24 hours.
The centre has asked the states and union territories to improve the momentum of COVID-19 vaccination and accelerate the coverage as the country moves forward to vaccinate all the eligible population by the end of the year. So far, 71.24 crore first doses of vaccines covering 76% of the eligible population and around 30 crore second doses covering 32% of the population have been administered. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan today reviewed the progress of COVID-19 vaccination with health secretaries and mission directors of National Health Mission of states and union territories through video conference. The focus of the meeting was to urge the states and union territories to increase the pace of the countrywide vaccination and coverage of the second dose. This comes in the backdrop of the country achieving the milestone of administering 100 crore doses on 21st of this month. Highlighting the sizable amount of eligible beneficiaries who have not received their second dose, Mr. Bhushan urged the states and UTs to focus on those beneficiaries who are waiting for their second dose after their interval period has been over. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Piyush Ranjan from the Department of Medicine of AIIMS will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free number 1800-115767 and on telephone number 011-2331-4444.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said infrastructure is being developed in Goa, which will help in increasing the income of farmers and fishermen. The Prime Minister was addressing an event in Goa after interacting with beneficiaries and stakeholders of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Swayampoorna Goa program through video conferencing today. He said Goa's fund for modernization of rural infrastructure has been increased fivefold this year compared to earlier. The Prime Minister said incentives are being given at every level from various ministries for the modernization of fishermen's boats. He added that the fishermen in Goa are getting a lot of help under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana also.
स्वयंपूर्ण गोवा की एक बड़ी ताकत फूड प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री होने वाली है। विशेष रूप से फिश प्रोसेसिंग में गोवा भारत की ताकत बन सकता है। भारत लंबे समय से रॉ फिश को एक्सपोर्ट करता रहा है। भारत की फिश पूर्वी एशियाई देशों से प्रोसेस होकर दुनिया के बाजारों तक पहुंचती है। इस स्थिति को बदलने के लिए फिशरीज सेक्टर को पहली बार बहुत बड़े स्तर पर मदद दी जा रही है। मछली के व्यापार कारोबार के लिए अलग मंत्रालय से लेकर मछुआरों की नावों के आधुनिकीकरण तक हर स्तर पर प्रोत्साहन दिया जा रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना के तहत भी गोवा में हमारे मछुआरों को बहुत मदद मिल रही है।
The Prime Minister emphasized that the government is undertaking several schemes like Ujjwala, Swachh Bharat, PM Awas Yojana, Jan Dhan Yojana to enhance dignity and confidence of women.
चाहे टॉयलेट्स हो, उज्ज्वला गैस कनेक्शन हो या फिर जनधन बैंक अकाउंट हो, गोवा ने महिलाओं को ये सुविधा देने में बेहतरीन काम किया है। इसी वजह से कोरोना लॉकडाउन के दौरान हजारों बहनों को मुफ्त गैस सिलेंडर मिले, उनके बैंक अकाउंट में पैसे जमा हो सके, घर घर नल से जल पहुंचाकर भी गोवा सरकार ने बहनों को बहुत बड़ी सुविधा दी है। अब गोवा सरकार गृह आधार और दीनदयाल सोशल सिक्योरिटी जैसी योजनाओं से गोवा की बहनों का जीवन और बेहतर बनाने का काम कर रही है।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur complimented Goa for achieving open defecation-free ODF status and connecting every household with electricity. Mr. Thakur said India set a target to become ODF and Goa achieved that. In a series of tweets, Mr. Thakur said India also set a target of electrifying every household and the state achieved that as well.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 82nd episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with COVID vaccine manufacturers in New Delhi. Major vaccine manufacturers hail leadership of Prime Minister as key factor in India crossing milestone of administering 100 crore doses. Over 101 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.16%. Prime Minister says infrastructure being developed in Goa to increase income of farmers and fishermen. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. Home Minister Amit Shah urges youth of Jammu and Kashmir to contribute in development of Union Territory. 12 trekkers from West Bengal killed in landslides in Uttarakhand. Russia reports record 1,075 COVID deaths in last 24 hours as country gets ready for nationwide workplace shutdown next month. And in T20 World Cup, India to take on Pakistan in Dubai tomorrow in their first match of Super 12 stage. Australia beats South Africa by 5 wickets in their opening match at Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today reviewed the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir and the steps needed to be taken to combat terrorism in the valley. Mr. Shah reviewed the security scenario at a meeting held at Raj Bhavan in Srinagar. The meeting was attended by Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and top officials of civil administration and senior security officials from the Army, CRPF, police and other agencies. The Home Minister reached Srinagar this morning on a 3-day visit to the Union territory. The visit comes in the wake of spate of recent terror attacks on civilians, particularly non-local labourers and minorities. Later in the day, the Home Minister virtually interacted with the members of different youth clubs of the valley. Addressing the gathering this evening, Mr. Shah urged the youth of Jammu and Kashmir to contribute to the development of the Union territory. The Home Minister assured that strict action will be taken against those who want to ruin peace of Jammu and Kashmir. He said no one can obstruct development in the Union territory.
टेररिज्म के समाचार आते थे, हिंसा के समाचार आते थे। आज वही कश्मीर में, वही कश्मीर का युवा, वही जम्मू का युवा विकास की बात कर रहा है, स्किल अपग्रेडेशन की बात कर रहा है, रोजगारी की बात कर रहा है, अपने पढ़ने के लिए जो वजीफा मिला है इसकी बात कर रहा है। कितना भारी बदलाव हुआ और मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ युवा साथियों, ये बदलाव को कोई नहीं रोक सकता। कोई कितनी भी ताकत आजमा ले, ये बदलाव के बयार को अब कोई रोक नहीं सकता। ये आगे बढ़ने वाली है और कश्मीर में एक नए युग की शुरुआत हो।
The Home Minister also flagged off virtually the direct flight from Srinagar to Sharjah this evening.
आज जम्मू कश्मीर के टूरिज्म के लिए बहुत बड़ा दिन है, क्योंकि आज ही श्रीनगर से शारजाह डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट शुरू होने जा रहा है। शारजाह खाड़ी के देशों में हर एयरपोर्ट से बहुत नजदीक है। खाड़ी के देशों में बहुत सारे श्रीनगर के लोग भी बसते हैं, जम्मू के लोग भी बसते हैं और खाड़ी के देशों से कई टूरिस्ट भी जम्मू कश्मीर आना चाहते हैं। आज ये डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट शारजाह की शुरू होने के साथ ये सुविधा से भी जम्मू और कश्मीर के टूरिज्म को बहुत बड़ा फायदा मिलने वाला है और एक महीनों में श्रीनगर एयरपोर्ट आज से इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट में प्रैक्टिकली कन्वर्ट होने जा रहा है।
This is the first visit of Home Minister Amit Shah to Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370 in 2019. In Uttarakhand, public property worth 2,000 crore rupees in Kumaon division was damaged due to heavy rainfall that flooded roads, triggered landslides and destroyed bridges in the last few days. Talking to media in Haldwani, Divisional Commissioner of Kumaon Sushil Kumar said 7,880 tourists trapped in various areas in the division due to heavy rains have been rescued.
12 trekkers from West Bengal lost their lives in the recent landslide incidents in Uttarakhand. The State Secretariat said the trekkers were divided into two groups. A group of 11 people was caught in adverse weather condition and landslides while travelling from Lamkhaga Pass, adjoining Himachal Pradesh border area of Chitkul. 8 persons lost their lives in the incident. Among them, Anita Rawat was a resident of Delhi, while 7 others were from West Bengal. 5 more trekkers from West Bengal died in the other incident. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the next of kin of the people who lost their lives due to landslide in Uttarakhand following heavy rains. Expressing grief over this tragic incident, the Chief Minister said their families will be assisted by the State Labour Department as per norms. Mr. Kumar said bodies of 7 deceased are being brought to their native places.
Russia reported 1,075 COVID-19 deaths today as the authorities get ready to shut workplaces countrywide and lock down the capital Moscow. This is Russia's 5th straight daily record as over 37,678 new corona cases were reported in the country. President Vladimir Putin has already approved a nationwide workplace shutdown in the first week of November. Moscow will also reimpose a partial lockdown from 28th of October, with only essential shops such as pharmacies and supermarkets allowed to remain open. Tamil film Korangal has been announced as India's official entry to the Oscars 2022. Shaji N. Karun, the chairperson of the 15-member selection committee set up by the Film Federation of India, made the announcement today. The film will compete for the Best International Feature Film at the 94th Academy Awards to be held on the 27th of March next year in Los Angeles.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
On 23rd of October 1778 was born Kittur Chennamma, the Queen of Kittur.
ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಚೆನ್ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಡಿದರ ಖಡ್ಗ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರಿಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ ನಡಗ ಎದುರಾಳಿನ ಎದಿಯ ಸೀಳಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಳೋ ಮನ್ನ ಕಲವರ ಹಿಡಿದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಯುದ್ಧ ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಸೈನ್ಯ ಭರಿಸಿದ ಗೆದ್ದ ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನ ಅಧಿಪತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಳಿದು ಚೆನ್ನಮ್ಮ.
She was one of the female rulers who led an armed rebellion against the British East India Company in 1824.
Right from a young age, she acquired all the skills required to win a battle, including horse riding, sword fighting and archery, and became well known in no time for her bravery.
The British took over the administration of Kittur in 1824 under the doctrine of lapse. When the Queen protested against the British occupation, the British army attacked Kittur in 1824 with 20,000 men and 400 guns.
The intention was to confiscate her jewels and treasures worth rupees 1.5 million, making her economically weak, and then dethrone her.
Despite having a numerically inferior force, Chennamma put up a tough fight and won the first round of battle. The British army faced massive losses, and eventually 2 British officers, Sir Walter Elliot and Mr. Stevenson, were taken as hostages, giving Chennamma an upper hand in the negotiations.
Chennamma agreed to release the hostages if the British ended the war and allowed her son to rule. Commissioner Chaplin from the East India Company took the offer, and the hostages were released.
However, in an unforeseen turnaround, the British troops launched a second round of attack. They could not take the humiliation of losing to a woman from a small village and roped in armies from Mysore and Solapur. They also convinced 2 of her soldiers to betray her by mixing cow dung and mud with the gunpowder used for cannons.
This time, she was captured and imprisoned for life at Belhungal Fort. She passed away on the 21st of February 1829. Rani Chennamma was buried in Belhungal Taluk. Her legacy and first victory are still commemorated in Kittur during the Kittur Utsav held from the 22nd to 24th of October.
On 23rd of October 1934, Mahatma Gandhi resigned from the Congress party and quit politics. He said he withdrew from active politics and even resigned his membership of the Congress because he wanted to devote himself fully to the constructive program and Harijan welfare.
He did not disagree with the party's position, but felt that if he resigned, his popularity with Indians would cease to stifle the party's membership, which actually varied, including communists, socialists, trade unionists, students, religious conservatives, and those with pro-business convictions, and that these various voices would get a chance to make themselves heard.
He had also come to believe that the leading members of the Congress party had adopted non-violence as a political means and not as a fundamental essence. In place of political activity, Gandhiji then concentrated on his constructive program of building the nation from the bottom up, educating rural India, which accounted for 85% of the population, was not an easy task.
Gandhiji continued his fight against untouchability, promoted hand spinning, weaving and other cottage industries to supplement the earnings of the underemployed peasantry. Gandhiji himself went to live at Sevagram, a village which later became the center of his program of social and economic uplift.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar, AIR News ke sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
To commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav as a Janutsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. The announcement of the winner is made on the next day in the Morning News Bulletin. The winner will be awarded an e-certificate and a token prize. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, the 25th October.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
India's first in vitro fertilization calf of a buffalo breed, namely Bunny, was born today. With this, India's ovum pickup in vitro fertilization work has reached the next level. This first IVF bunny calf is born out of 6 bunny IVF pregnancies established at the doorsteps of a farmer at Dhanej in Somnath district of Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had spoken about the bunny buffalo breed during his visit to Kutch region of Gujarat last year.
In T20 Cricket World Cup, India will take on arch rivals Pakistan tomorrow at Dubai in their first group game of Super 12 stage. Till now, India have won all their matches against Pakistan in the World Cup, both in the ODI and T20 formats. On the eve of the all-important match, Indian skipper Virat Kohli, in a press conference, said the focus of the Indian team is to play well in the World Cup.
As professional cricketers, you eventually start thinking about the situation that you're going to be in as batters and bowlers. And it's very important for us to keep focused on that. Our approach to the game is also certainly not different.
All India Radio is broadcasting ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup matches. In the opening match of the Super 12 stage of the tournament today, Australia defeated South Africa by 5 wickets in Abu Dhabi. In the second match of the day, defending champions West Indies set a target of 56 runs against England at Dubai. Earlier, England won the toss and opted to field. Now, let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will vary between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky, while Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will observe a minimum temperature of 24 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 34 degrees. Srinagar and Jammu will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Leh is likely to witness rain or snow. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain, and most of the northeastern cities including Guwahati, Shillong, Imphal, Aizawl, Kohima, Itanagar and Gangtok will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thundershowers. Visakhapatnam will observe a minimum temperature of 26 degrees and a maximum of around 33 degrees. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thundershowers. Puducherry, there will be thunderstorm with rain, and in Bengaluru, it will be partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thundershowers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with COVID vaccine manufacturers in New Delhi. Major vaccine manufacturers hail leadership of Prime Minister as key factor in India crossing the milestone of administering 100 crore doses. Over 101 crore 30 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.16%. Prime Minister says infrastructure being developed in Goa to increase income of farmers and fishermen. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. Home Minister Amit Shah urges youth of Jammu and Kashmir to contribute for the development of the Union Territory. 12 trekkers from West Bengal killed in landslides in Uttarakhand. Russia reports record 1,075 COVID deaths in the last 24 hours as country gets ready for nationwide workplace shutdown next month. And in the T20 World Cup, India to take on Pakistan in Dubai tomorrow in the first match of the Super 12 stage. Australia beat South Africa by 5 wickets in their opening match at Abu Dhabi. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.